Today I'm going to share with you the 69 special. Now 69 means balance in life or harmony, so quit snickering like you're a middle schooler. We're adults here and this is a serious gambling game. Casino craps, it might look complicated, but at its core it's a simple game. Roll the dice, bet on the correct number, and win. Hi, I'm Jeremy and I am a craps fanatic. My job, to teach you the game, to teach you the math and some strategies, and with a little luck, you can color up. I like to play at $10 tables, and well, I have access to that. I know many of you only have access to $15 tables, so the regression is not going to be as great there. But with this strategy, we are going to start with $66 on the inside numbers. So that's $15 5 and 9, and $18 6 and 8. Now, if any of these numbers roll, they're all going to pay $21. We're going to throw in $1, or this is called power pressing, where you pull from your rack, add it to your winnings, and press up. And we're going to press up the 6 and the 9. Dealer, press my 6 and 9. Thus the name 69 Special. These are actually now at the green level, so $25 here and $30 here. If the 6 or 9 rolls again, both of those bets are going to pay $35. We're then going to tell the dealer to regress back down to $44 inside. We've won a total of $56, so we would have a $12 profit and $44 working on the inside bets. However, if instead our second hit is the 5 or 8, remember these ones are at 15 and 18, they're only going to pay 21. So we're going to again power press or throw in $1 and take these up to the 30 level as well. Well, $30 on the 8, $25 on the 5, I should say green level. Now all these bets are going to pay $35, so no matter what rolls, we get paid $35. We're then going to regress not down to $44, but down to $66. So that's kind of where you could play this at a $15 table. So we could return this to the player, and we've got $60, $70 here. We'd have to give the player another $4, and then get set up at $66 inside. So we'd have an $11 profit, and we'd have $66 working on the inside bets. Pretty good. Or if you wanted to, you can go all the way down to $44 and have a $33 profit. So if we get 2 hits on the 6 and 9, we've won 56, we're going to regress to 44. If we get a hit on the 6 and 9 and then the 5 and 8, we're going to do 2 power presses, so really we need 3 hits, but then we're going to regress down to 66. Now I like playing this on the 6 and 9. Another alternative, if you would like, is to play the 6 and 8. So again, if we restarted 66 inside, all these bets are going to pay 21. This time you would have to throw in $3 from your rack, and this kind of works because we're now invested for $69, so it also works as 69 Special, but that would take both the 6 and 8 up to a $30 bet instead of the 6 and 9. And then you'd play it out the same way. If we hit the 6 and 8 again, we go to 44. If we hit a 5 or 9, we're going to press those up to the green level, and then the third hit, we would go to 66. So that's the strategy. Let's go ahead and take a look at it with a live roll. All right, I'm going to play this strategy with a $500 bankroll, and we'll see what happens. Now, if you are the shooter, you're required to make either a pass or don't pass bet. For this demo, we'll just assume someone else is rolling the dice, and we'll wait for a point to be established, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and give this strategy a little try. All right, coming out, shooter's looking for his point. There's the 9. Now we're going to go ahead and give $70 to the dealer. Dealer, we want 66 inside, including the point. So they'll take that, give you 4 and change, and we'll get set up here. Ready to go. Here we go, looking for an inside number. We got half the dice combos covered here. Just got to roll 1 or 2. All right, there's the 6. So the $18 bet is going to pay 21. We're going to throw in $1. Dealer, press my 6 and 8. So that will go to 30, and that'll go to 25. They're probably going to change these out in color when they get a chance. And here we go. Now remember, if we hit the 6 and 9, we're going to regress to 44 inside. If we hit the 5 and 8, we're going to do another power press. So here we go. There's an 8. 8 easy. So 18, again, pays 21. We're going to throw in another dollar. Dealer, press my 6 and 8. And we know those are going to go to green level. And I got some red in here I got to clean up. All right. Now we've got 110 on the table, but remember we start with 66. We've thrown in $2, so we're invested for 68. Let's get in this situation that we need a third hit. So can we get a third hit? Hard 6, there we go. It's just that easy, sometimes, right? All right, 30 is going to pay 35. And whoops, I knocked down my rack. And then we're going to tell the dealer, because we've got so much profit out here, we can go, let's regress me down to 66 inside. So here's 60, there's 70. So they're going to give you another $4 and change. They got the 70. And now they can set you up at the $66 level where we started from. And again, you could just always go for 3 hits and that'll, you could play it this way to make it work on a $15 table if you'd like. So we've got a small profit in place, locked in. So now we're just looking to roll some numbers, and the nice thing is we're already at $15 level. From here, you play it however you want. Maybe we spread to the 4 and 10, maybe you press and collect, maybe you press single units, kind of whatever you'd like. I think I'm going to press, I don't know, I'm just going to kind of wing it from this point forward actually. So the first move, I think I'm going to press to back up to 88 inside. I'm going to press all the inside numbers. So here we go. Let's see if we can get another hit though. That's the first step. There's a 4 easy. We don't have the 4 and 10 covered. That's the other thing, is maybe you want to cover that 4 and 10. There's a yo. And I'm always just going to let the horn numbers go. I'm not going to worry about those. There's the 10. There's the 9-point hit, but that's a winner for us. So 15 is going to pay 21. I'm going to throw in $1. Again, this is a power press. Anytime you pull from your rack, add to the winnings, you're power pressing. Otherwise, a press just means double. Okay, dealer, press my inside numbers. So we're going to bump everything up. Now we have $20 bets, $24 bets. Puck's going to go off though, so the game is off temporarily. Of course, you can always work your bets on the come out. That's a discussion for another time, but I'm going to just follow the puck. Here we go, same shooter. So far he's a hot shooter. 10 easy, right on the 10. If I can get one, now I'm going to collect. Maybe I'll alternate or something. Not going to do anything, there's the 7. But that's okay, we initially got our profit. We were rolling risk-free out of our pocket. Puck goes off. That's the gambling part though. So once you're rolling risk-free, you can afford to be a little more aggressive, in my opinion. All right, here we go, new shooter. Coming out, here we go. 7 on the come out. Pass line winner. We're not playing the pass. There's an 8 easy. So mark the 8. And 50, 65, we've got a penny. Dealer, give me 66 inside. I called a penny, it's really $1. Okay. 15 and 18. And I guess I got to clean this up. All right, here we go. Hunting for an inside number. There's a 9. 15 is going to pay 21. We throw in $1. Dealer, press my 6 and 9. So that'll go to 25. This goes to 30. There we go. If I can get my fingers to work. All right, here we go. There's a 5. So we're going to be power pressing again. We're going to need 3 hits this time. Pays 21. Throw in that $1. And that's going to take us up to $30 on the 8. $25 on the 5. One more hit and we'll regress to 66. 2, spot and a dot. A little too far outside. 3, crap, so we're moving inside a little bit. Is the next one going to be 4? No, it's going to be 10 down there on the other end. Looking for that 5 through 9 shooter. 8 hard, that'll work. 30 is going to pay 35. Dealer, take me to 66 inside. So you're going to get $79 back, and that'll be enough to set you back up. We're going to be rolling risk-free with great bet out here. Rack that up. And here we go. Coming out. We're out on the 4, easy 4. There's the 6 easy. 18 pays 21. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to throw in $1. Dealer, press me inside. You could do whatever you want at this point. That's what I'm going to do. There's the 9. So 20 is going to pay 28. I'm just going to collect this time. There's another 9. Again, 20 pays 28, and should I go press the inside or maybe cover the outsides? I'm going, you know what? I'm going to collect again this time. I'm going to pull back a green. Again, whatever you're comfortable with. I like that green chip was too tempting for me. Next time I'll press. All right, there's the 10. Maybe I should have spread to the 10, I guess. All right, and there's the 7. I guess I'm glad I collected. Okay, these are going to come down. Collected twice, I'm saying. Buck's going to go off, and we'll give it another try. You get half the dice combos working, and you either need 2 or 3 hits. It's not a huge ask. I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes the dice just won't cooperate, but we are gambling. All right, we're out on the 5. 50, 65, 66 to the dealer. We want 66 inside. That's an easy setup for them. And we are off and ready to go. Yo 11, yo 11. 6 easy. Winner on the 6. 18 pays 21. Throw in that $1. And I guess you could switch it up. You could throw in $3 and do the 6 and 8. But I'm going to stick with my 6 and 9. Why do I like those? I don't know. I just feel like they roll more for me. So I don't know. Maybe it goes back to that balance and harmony, yin and yang thing. So that's going to be enough to pop these both up to the green level. All right. Let's see what happens here. 9, there it is. So 25 is going to pay 35. Now we hit up a press number and not the 5 and 9. So this time we've won $56. I'm going to go ahead and regress down to 44 instead of needing that third hit. So I'm just going to hand off half the bets here, and I've got 30, 45. I'm going to give the player $1 more and then set him up for 44 inside. It's the $10 level. So these bets aren't as high, so I got a little more work to do. But we've, again, secured that profit. And this time with just 2 hits. And if you're at that $15 table, you're going to need another hit, or go ahead and press up the other numbers. You can keep it at that $15 level. But $10 table, I got room to regress. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. A little short, wimpy roll, but 2. 3. Here's the 4. No, there's the 7. Okay. We got our profit. We got out. Wasn't the longest roll, but we're okay. Doesn't affect us, and we collected a little profit. All right. New shooter. We've shown both situations now. 2 craps. Still looking for a point. The only other situation is you roll an early 7 and you lose your money out here. You're 66, or if you've thrown an extra $1, you're $67. All right, we're out on the 10. I think I rolled a 10. I got busy talking. Hopefully that doesn't screw anything up. Let's go ahead and throw in our $66 to the dealer. Not throw it in, we're going to set it on the table nicely in front of them. I actually like to set it on the line, so if the dealer's busy, they're eventually going to ask, hey, what is this? Here, it's a field bet. Here, it could be a come bet. On a line, it's no bet. They're going to have to ask. So, a little tip there if the table's busy. All right, we'll get set up here, 66 inside. And we are ready as soon as I clean up my mess back here. Here we go. 8 easy, 8 easy. 18 is going to pay 21. We're going to throw in that dollar. Dealer, press my 6 and 9. It's going to take us up to the green level. And let's see, we're going to roll the 5 and 8 or the 6 and 9. We're going to roll the 5 this time. We don't have the 5. 18 is going to pay 21. That means we're going to invest a little more to press up our 5 and 8. Take those also to the green level. A little more invested. Well, a dollar plus our win, right? But we're going to regress to 66 if we can get one more hit. So either way, we're in fine position, but with bigger bets. There's a 6 easy. We'll take it. 30 is going to pay 35. Dealer, take me to 66 inside. So we can go, wait, I only paid 30. 35, there we go. I need that $10 because now here's 70. There's the 4 and change. And the dealer will have enough to go 66 inside. And the player is going to pull back 79. All right, $11 profit, $66 working for us. Let's keep this roll going. There's a 5. 15 pays 21. I like to throw in the dollar, press all the numbers up. Here we go. 12 craps. Dice rolled there, but it was a 12. There's the 7. All right, we was getting good position, 88 inside, but no more extra money. Profit for the shooter, but not huge profit. We're still, like most strategies, we're hunting for that big roll. All right, here we go. 5, point will be 5. Coming out on the 5. Go 50, 65, 66 to the dealer. $6 easy. All right, 18 is gonna, oh, we got a green in there. That'd be nice. It's gonna pay 21. We're throwing in the dollar. Dealer, press my 6 and 8. All right, and here we go. 12 craps. 8 the hard way, 8 hard. So 15 is going to pay 21. We're going to invest more in the hopes that we can hit one of these. So these are all going to go up to the green level. All right, 110 out here, but we've only got $67 of our money on the table. Well, technically, let me clarify, this is all our money. Pull this all down and we've got a profit. $42 profit, right? But we're going for the big score. So hopefully we get one more hit, regress to 66, have a profit, and good bets still out here. All right, 10 easy. You can pull all of your bets down and just wait, but wait for what? If you're going to go home, do that, but if you're going to keep playing, you know, position yourself for a big win. Dice off the table. Here we go. Dice off the table brings the big ugly number. So this, I'm kind of glad I got to see this because it's all not roses and sunshine. Sometimes you lose your $68, and that's the situation where we did. But I think we were working off a profit overall, so I don't know. Maybe we can do this one more time. We'll start off with the 7 so we can avoid the 7. 10 easy, 10 easy. 50, 65, 66. All right, shooter, here we go. 4 the hard way, 4 hard. That's not going to help us. 3 craps. Why am I adding that little accent on the crap numbers today? I do not know. There's the 7. So 66. So we've won a few times. We haven't profited a big amount, and we've got knocked off twice. So I think that's maybe a good spot to count it up and see if we have a profit. I'm tempted to roll one more time, but I think that's a good way to do it. If you lose twice, how many wins do you have to make? We didn't have any big wins, but it'll be interesting to see where we're at. So let's see. We start with 5. 1, 2, 3, 400, 25, 50, 55, 60, 64. So 464. So 450, 64 to the player. That's your color up. We actually colored down a little bit today, but pretty interesting. We only won minor, minimal. I think after we regressed, we only actually collected one time, and we're only down a few bucks. So ideally, you get on that big roll and you're in position running risk-free and could really color up. But if you get a couple early 7s and knock you off, you can see how it kind of equalizes out this strategy. So that's the 69 special, another version of the kind of 66 inside strategy. Hope you like this one. If not, let me know. And until next time, however you like to play, good luck on coloring up. All right, we're going to go ahead and graph this out using today's rolls. Now you'll notice this total was a little different. It ended up at 516, and that's because the dicer build, after the regression, it just same bets. And in my live roll, I tried to do some press moves, and it did not work out as well as if I would have just same bet. So a lesson maybe there. In the beginning, I mentioned using the 6 and 8 instead of the 6 and 9, and I have that build as well. So let's see how that looks like with today's rolls. And we know they would track very similar, but it looks like in the end, the 6 and 8 just slightly edged out using the 6 and 9. But during a couple shooters, the 6 and 9 was doing much better. All right, let's go ahead and add our standards in, the 3-point Molly, Dolly, and the conservative hedgehog. Now those Molly and Dolly, they are using max odds because that's what the experts say. That's why there are standards. Lowest house edge way to play, max odds, right? We're running that with today's rolls, and the 3-point Dolly is our big winner at 920. The hedgehog was actually down a little bit, and the Molly, yikes, it ended up at only $60. Now let's go ahead and run this with random 10 number generated shooters. And the 69, whether you use the 6 or 8 or the 6 and 9, they're probably going to run similar, but let's kind of keep an eye on which one does better. In this case, betting the 6 and 8 did a little bit better, but you know, they both did really well compared to the other strategies. The Molly a little bit behind. Looks like a couple of our strategies, well, most of the light side all busted out, and the 3-point Dolly made a very big profit. Just like everything, just depends on how the dice rolls. That's why it's kind of fun to see these random number generated things. This time the 6-8 did, significantly better. Looks like almost $100 better. But the 3-point Molly on top. And they're running very close. The 3-point Molly finished up. The 69 specials also up using the 6 and 9 a little bit better. And the Dolly was down. All right, let's give it another 1 or 2 tries. The don't did really well this time. Our other strategies and not so good. One last time. Looks like our 69 specials up in the lead, and particularly using the 6 and 9 came out top. So there you go, a little insight using dicer.io. If you're enjoying my videos, consider supporting the Color Up channel by joining my club, the Color Up Club. It's an awesome community of craps enthusiasts just like me, and I also give out some free swag. So check out my website, colorup.club.